Harry?
Joanne, thank you very much. This isn't the first case of alleged homegrown terrorism here in New Jersey. Some experts say that the state has become a breeding ground for it. Christine Persichetti continues our team coverage.
Simply put, the demographics support it. The ethnicities and the amount of people, the most populated state in the 50 states, give terrorists great cover.
That's why it may seem many accused homegrown terrorists are grown right here in the Garden State.
Yeah, I mean, it goes through my mind, but I mean, you never know, who your neighbors are.
The Elmwood Park home of one of the men arrested this weekend is in typical suburbia, a tree-lined street, American flags, and neighbors oblivious to the alleged plotting going on inside the house. These arrests come a year and a half after the Fort Dix Six were convicted of trying to attack soldiers at the New Jersey military base. And in 2001, after the 9/11 attacks, some of the men detained by federal authorities were from northern New Jersey. Former federal prosecutor Michael Wild says while potential terrorists may know New York seems to be prepared, the question is New Jersey?
Are we aware? Does law enforcement have the resources, and do we have the intelligence capabilities to not only put human assets forward, but to stop these events before they happen?
U.S. Senator Robert Menendez says New Jerseyans should feel relieved that law enforcement worked together to stop these suspects.
The two arrests are an example of when we use that intelligence in an integrated fashion, how we can succeed in terms of protecting our country.
Experts say while we shouldn't fear our neighbor, we should be aware of who they are, and if we see anything suspicious, we should report it. In Elmwood Park, Christine Persichetti, My 9 News.
And tonight we're taking on homegrown terror. Joining me right now, Joseph Canatella, a former major with the New Jersey State Police and Director of Homeland Security for Morris County. No one really knows what type of impact these alleged terrorists would have had if they got the training that they were trying to get. How important is it to New Jersey in particular that they were apprehended?
I think it was very important to New Jersey. Obviously, these gentlemen grew up in this area, they knew this area, and they certainly were familiar with the targets of opportunity in this area had they attained the training and the support they needed to carry off some type of terrorist attack.
So what do you think inspires two young men like this? Why would they join a terrorist group, allegedly?
There are many reasons why a person might join, but usually it's a loner individual or loner individuals that are disenfranchised from the community, possibly picked on by members of the community, looking for a cause, looking to be recognized.
They were allegedly joining Al-Shabaab. Al-Shabaab, that's a new one. Tell us about that.
Well, Al-Shabaab's been around. It's a Somali terrorist group, and it certainly has been around for a while. It is very active in Somalia and in the ungoverned areas of Somalia. And
so is Somalia a new breeding ground for terrorists, do you think?
Well, you could, maybe new to our understanding, but it's been there for a while and it's been breeding terrorists for a long period of time.
So how does Al-Shabaab and Al-Qaeda fit together?
Well, Al-Shabaab is definitely linked to Al-Qaeda. They subscribe to the same radical terrorist beliefs, and some battle-hardened Al-Qaeda operatives have moved into Somalia to train and recruit in those areas. As you know, because of the efforts of our military, Al-Qaeda has been on the run since since the war in Iraq and now in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm. Major, I don't want to underestimate the homegrown terrorist, but you know much more about the profile of an individual like this than I do, but I'm sometimes getting the impression that these are basically wannabes. They're trying to train, they're trying to prove themselves to a larger organization of Al-Qaeda. They're going out and kind of haphazardly trying to do some sort of terroristic threat so they rise through the food chain of a terrorist network. Is that true, do you think?
Well,